What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about how Hogwarts Legacy is going to work with choices and defining who you are. Now, this would normally be called a morality system, only they've dropped that. Or, yet again, they kind of did drop it. They always left it, I guess, up to chance as to what they were going to actually do. And so, the point here is I really want to try to nail down what I think this game is going to play like once we actually get it. So, the first thing is we have the change to the FAQ. So now it says Hogwarts Legacy does not have a morality system, but players will be able to encounter various quests and storylines that will influence the witch or wizard they choose to become. Now, that's not the greatest way of explaining anything. In fact, that's actually pretty bad. You could read into it, and in fact, I was going to read into it for this video, but Chandler beat me to it, and Chandler actually made it a lot, I think, more simple, and hopefully he kind of explains it well enough that most people would get it. But if people don't get it, again, that's, I guess that's what I'm here for. I think I'm here for other purposes as well. But he says you can define who you are and how you choose to respond and react in many conversations. Are you nice or a jerk? You can choose to learn and wield the dark arts or not, but there is not a formal tracked morality system like those found in some other RPGs. Now, when he says tracked, that's the most important word in my opinion. That's a good way of kind of doing it. And so you have to kind of separate. And I think Mass Effect would maybe be the best example of what they're not doing, although they're doing parts of it. Again, it's actually kind of tough because some things they're borrowing from other games, some things they're not. So in Mass Effect, if you become too good, I mean that, if you actually become too good, you make the good choices too often, it'll actually block off you from doing bad choices, okay? Now, there will still be times where you could do bad choices, but actually, as the game gets on and on and on, there will become times where you cannot do the bad choice at all, right? It locks you in. So that's an important thing that that game does that this game seemingly will not do. Now, again, like what he says, this is not going to influence like conversations. When you're in an average conversation, you'll be able to choose good choices and bad choices in, how you speak to the other character. But that, again, that doesn't get tracked in any way. Like, that's just on that character. Then you go to another NPC, you talk to them, it's completely separate. They don't know, right? The other characters don't know that you were just bad. Now, the way this can actually blow up in a negative way is making it feel like your choices don't have consequences. And it's kind of weird because it's like, well, Alex, they do. And yes, so hear me out. Yes, when you're making choices in quests, side quests, and main quests, they may have like a distinct impact, right? And then you make another decision on the next quest, and that has an impact, so on, so on. But it's not going to influence, right? This is what he said. It's not going to influence, say, another random decision. So I guess the way I could see this blowing up is, say you do a quest, right? Or even the quest we saw, the Sebastian quest. You use Crucio. You use Avada Kedavra. Now, you can imagine in Mass Effect, say Mass Effect as an example, when you do bad things, right? When you start to do bad things, your eyes will, like, you'll literally turn red throughout your body. Like, you become more red, and things will sometimes be blocked off to you. But that's not how it's going to be. So you just say, use Avada Kedavra in, a side mission, and then you go back to Hogwarts and you're talking to people. Nobody really cares or knows that you just did that. Does that make sense? That is separate from you talking to people. Now, again, like, not even necessarily a good or bad thing. We're gonna have to see how this all works when the game happens, but that's how it'll be. Another potential issue that we won't necessarily know until we play it is making it feel like choices don't have big impact, right? The one I guess I go to for this one is Life is Strange. Now, Life is Strange doesn't necessarily have like massively good or massively bad choices, and the game will separate, but it does have choices throughout the entire game. And I'm talking about Season 1 because that's the one that had the biggest backlash to it. You would make choices in that game, and they did feel impactful. Every choice actually did feel impactful. When it got to the end of the game, you made one choice completely on its own. It didn't matter any of the choices you had made going up to it, okay? So that's kind of, and I know it always takes me so long to get to the end of these stories, but that's kind of, I guess, my concern for Hogwarts. That, again, we will not know until the game comes out, is it going to feel like at the end of the day, and I do mean at the end of the day, like the end of the game, are you going to make a decision that's like so massive, good or bad, but it's so separate from anything you've ever done. The other stuff that you did literally doesn't matter at all because it only matters about this decision. Now, that could either not matter to people. They may actually be able to pull that off. Other games have, by the way. I'm not saying it's impossible because other games do it. In fact, again, Chandler says, like, it's not every RPG that does it where they track you, but it is several of them. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they pull it off. Having all these decisions being separate is fine in the way that it won't lock you off on anything, right? Like, you'll always have all options available to you, which I do appreciate. I do think is a good idea. At the same time, though, then it becomes a question, does the game know kind of what your choices were the choice before and then the choice before? Because it's not really linear. You could, again, talk to a friend and be a jerk to them. You could do a Vada Kedavra on a side mission, and then the main mission, you could choose all the good things. And none of them actually, you know what I mean? You could choose the good things in the mission, and they don't exactly even, like, level out or cancel each other, but the game doesn't even know that because it's just letting you choose individually, right? So we'll see how it goes. Again, like, I know there's examples of games that do it well. It's just concerns that come up that we'll see if maybe it's not a concern at all when the game happens and it's fine, or maybe it makes, I guess, decision-making feel like less weight, like they have no weight to them when you're making decisions. That's the coin you flip. They are either going to have weight to them or not have weight to them, and we'll see how, the game goes. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.